Good morning. Let's see. Oh. Tell me if that's any better. Good morning. Whoa, let's get some hair going here. I am Tim Carter, and I'm on my laptop. This is Ask the Builder, Saturday morning, April 23rd. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood here in central New Hampshire. Thanks for joining me. Um, I have no what we're going to talk about today other than deck stain and the best deck stain. All right. So if you want to know about the best deck stain, if you want to know about staining a deck, a wood deck, a fence, log cabin, I don't care what it is, go ahead and ask your question because that can really drive the conversation. So if you have a question specific about deck sealers, deck stains, go ahead and put them in. Hey, Jason, good morning. Good morning, my friend. Kathy and I were talking about you yesterday a little bit. Um, I'll just change the subject really quickly. There was something in the news about this spate of over the past year, some pretty big fires and explosions in food processing plants. All right, so I know that's not where you work, but you're directly related to that, and I just wondered if you have seen any kind of increased security, which there should be, and if not, you need to mention something to the president of of increased security at places like yours. Your place would be really susceptible because there's so much flammable stuff. So have you heard anything about that? Have you seen anything about that in the news? Pretty it's very unusual. All right. So, I mean, if you really want to mess with things and mess with people, all you got to do is just mess with their food. That's I mean, you can see that on the most basic level. If you touch somebody's food and they're hungry, they get pretty upset. So anyway, um, if you are new to the stream, and you might be, um, I like it. I prefer it if you can, if you would check in and just just check in, and if you have a superpower like Jason, the guy. I don't know that there's a better lurker out there. I'm serious. All right. Hey, Steve, how you doing? All right, good. We're going to talk about you in a minute. Steve, in just a second. All right. So I want to share with everybody, and then I'll tell you why after I message. I want to show you what I was doing in the few minutes before I went live. All right. So check this out. All right. So this is oh, yeah, you might want to see that. Personal and confidential. And you might want to see that. So that letter is getting mailed to Susan this morning. All right. She should get it by Wednesday. I'll explain what it is in a little bit. Uh, yeah, I'm telling you right now, Jason, something's happening out there. You and I are really aligned on a lot of topics, if not all. And go look in the recent news about the food processing plants, right? Not distribution centers, but food processing plants. What's happened? Very, very unusual. Very unusual. Hey, hello, Jennifer. There you go. There's somebody checking in. Wonderful. Boy, that's early for you today. Wow, you're early. 5 o'clock in the morning. Still dark out there. All right, Stevie. Let's talk about your. I'm glad this is why I do the live chats. Just simply to answer questions and to help you save time and money. Stevie says my 3-year deck is green algae. I think that is appearing due to wetness. Yeah. Describe the full process I need to perform. Yes, yes. Easy, easy, easy. All right. Hey, Chitsa, Alabama, Alabama. The Crimson Tide, man. Woo. All right, Stevie. Here's how you got to do. You have to clean your deck, and it's pretty easy. I don't know what type of deck it is. I mean, you say it doesn't really matter. I guess I'm going to just assume it's treated lumber. You can confirm that if you want. All you do is I'm trying to find it. I think, and of course I'm partial to it. I think the best deck cleaner out there is this one. It's called Stain Solver. Stain Solver. It's a powder, in this jar that you mix with hot water, and it dissolves just like sugar does in iced tea or sugar in coffee. And it's certified organic. That's really important. Certified organic. Um, it is made in the United States. I happen to own the company. Um, and it's and bar none, it's the best oxygen bleach out there because we put the most active ingredient in the product. All right, why would you want to use oxygen bleach? All right, the reason why is it's non-toxic. It does not hurt the wood. It will not cause accelerated corrosion on the fasteners and all the joist hangers, which is very dangerous. Uh, because most other websites that I've seen for many, many years have said to use chlorine bleach, and that's the worst thing you could ever use. So do not use chlorine bleach. And the the chemical name for chlorine bleach, and you would see this on the label. They won't say necessarily chlorine bleach all the time. They'll say sodium hypochlorite. Sodium hypochlorite. So remember those two words, sodium hypochlorite. And it is very, very toxic. It will kill all the vegetation and trees around your house over time. It will take the color out of the wood, so it'll bleach the color of the wood, and it'll look this horrible, like horrible white. It'd be horrible. It is very corrosive to the nails and screws and joist hangers. And in other words, you don't want to use chlorine bleach. It's the worst possible thing to use. How do you clean it? In my case, using stain solver, you just mix up the solution. Once it's mixed up, it just looks like water. And I have videos on my website to show how to do it. If you go to askthebuilder.com and just type in clean deck, I I show you exactly how to use it. So that's the easiest thing to do. The It's best to work. It's best if the deck is dry because that allows the cleaner to soak in. All right. If the deck is damp or wet, because you understand this. In fact, I did a really neat video about 2 summers ago where I had a very old piece of treated lumber that I had left outside on purpose, just to weather. No sealer on it, no nothing. I mean, it had been out for 5 or 10 years on purpose. And one day I decided to do a test where I put a drop of water on it, and of course for about 2 or 3 or 4 seconds the water just stayed on the surface, the droplet, but all of a sudden it just disappeared and it soaked into the wood. All right, so that's a really important experiment, and that video is on YouTube, uh, and on my channel. So if the wood is dry, the cleaning solution will soak into the upper layer of the wood and do a deep cleaning, and that's what you want. So once you pour or brush on and you want to work in the shade, early part of the day. The worst conditions would be to work at high noon in brilliant sunlight with a breeze because the cleaning solution will evaporate too quickly. You don't want that. All right, and then you just put it on and you let it work on its own. You put it on liberally and you let it work on its own. And you'll see it bubble and fizz and bubble and fizz, and it's bubbling and fizzing. And it's doing a lot of the cleaning right there. And it's killing the algae. It's amazing. And then at the end of the wait period, you could sprinkle a little water on it and use a stiff scrub brush, always scrubbing in the grain in the direction of the grain, and rinse it well with a hose, and it's going to look beautiful. It's going to look amazing. So that's how simple it is to clean a deck. A little bit of work, but it's really really worth it. I always like to clean the deck first, and then clean the railing second, because you end up with fewer. If you do it the other way, you could end up with some spotting on the deck. So always clean the deck first, railing second. Um, what did I want to say? All right, maybe you've got another question. Hey Don, how you doing? As far as the best sealer, I did a test um, over the past 2 years. Here's what I found out over the years. I'll just say this about deck sealers. So if you go back 20, 25 years ago, deck sealers, most of them were penetrating stains and sealers. Just like if you were to go today and buy a can of oil based, if you can still get it in your state, don't get me started on the flipping EPA, man. If you were to go buy a can of oil stain to stain some interior woodwork, or maybe you wanted to stain a bookcase, it's very liquid. You prepare the wood, get it all the wood all ready, sand it, blah, blah, blah. You apply the stain, you'll notice that the stain soaks into the wood. I mean, and you wipe it off with a rag a minute or so later, and there's basically nothing left on the surface. Nothing. It's all gone into the wood. That's how deck stains used to be. All right. Well, if you've ever stained a piece of wood this way, um, you will notice that once the deck stain is dry, that it's got a matte finish. All right. So that's how, and if you stain interior woodwork right now, you'll see that it'll look very matte. It'll look colored, but it won't be glossy. It just so happens, and I have no data to back this up. It just that other than what I see, is that the human eye, the humans tend to associate glossy things with perfection, or glossy things are better. That's why fingernail polish is glossy. That's why cars have glossy paint. Um, you know, I mean, think about the phrase, it's shiny and bright. It's bright and shiny. All right. So glossy things are shiny. Diamonds are shiny. They sparkle. In other words, I think you'll agree that people associate something that's shiny, that reflects light, that it's better and it's cleaner. It's more appealing. All right. I think we could agree on that. Deck sealer and stain manufacturers picked up on that over the past 15 years, and they decided to make deck sealers glossy. Well, to do that, that means you have to change the chemistry and you have to make it more like a varnish or a urethane. And whereas before all of the product soaked into the wood, now some of the product soaks in, but some of it stays on top of the wood. All right. That's bad. That's why, if you noticed, if you've been frustrated with deck sealers in the past, because they primarily peel. They peel and they look horrible. And then if you go to restain it and you don't get all the old off, it really looks bad. It looks really bad. You can see differences in shininess. It's horrible. It's just horrible. Color. And you want to talk about work. Stripping a deck or sanding it down oh my gosh, that's horrible. As a result of that, I started a crusade about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, because I had to rebuild four panels on my dock. And I used brand new cedar wood. And I decided and my dock had previously, when I had my dock installed maybe 8 years ago, it had gotten ruined in a windstorm. The dock company, they sealed and put the panels on, and I didn't have anything to say about it. And they put one of these crappy film forming sealers that started to peel. So I thought, no way, I don't want that crap again. I then did an exhaustive search and I think I found one. And so I put it on 2 years ago and I shared here on the channel, on the live channel, I guess last week, or maybe 10 days ago, a preview video. If you go to myaskthebuilder.com, I'm sorry, if you go to my Ask the Builder YouTube channel, you can see right on the homepage, one of my latest uploaded videos. It's deck stain test results or something like that. Go watch that video. You're not going to believe what you're going to see. You're not going to believe it. So go watch that video. All right. All right. Any other questions? So Stevie, I hope I answered your question. You want to work in the cooler part of the day. and you're going to love working with Stain Solver if you decide to use it. Stain Solver, great, great product, safe. Here's the other thing about Stain Solver. It's not only the best deck sealer. I mean, it works on anything water washable. We if you want to see how powerful this product is, I haven't talked about it in a long time. Go to stainsolver.com. I could do it. Actually, I'll do it right now. I'll do it for everybody because you're not going to believe these photos. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know all about it. Blah blah blah. I get a stupid message in Chrome browser that the stain solver site's not secure. Are you kidding me? It's got a flipping um, uh, it's HTTPS. It's got an up-to-date certificate. Give me a flipping break. Uh, I'm finding this. I'm finding this. I'm almost there. No, I don't want to get. All right, come on, come on. Here we go. I've almost got it. I'm almost there. There we go. This will, if this one page, if this one page does not prove to you how great Stain Solver is, nothing will. So, if you go to this page, I'm hoping that you don't see the after picture because when you land on this page, hopefully you're just going to see the before picture. And what I want you to do in your mind is try to guess what is the color of this hat. What's the color of the hat before it gets cleaned? In other words, you might think, oh, the hat's red or the hat's purple or the hat's blue. So just go here and see. Give me a flipping break. I know. I know. I'm still working on the merchandise. If Lorene was here, she would see what did. But go to that Stain Silver page and look at the before and after photos. If that doesn't convince you about how good Stain, and read the story. Go down below and read George's story. It's a fantastic story. This woman, this mom sent in, and if you really want to understand how bad this hat was, take a really close look at the before picture. The hat is sitting on top of paper towels, clean paper towels, and look at what's happened to the paper towel. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. It's my favorite before and after photos of all the time ever, and I've run in the Stain Solver company. Okay, if you're here and you've got a question about how to clean or seal a deck, your fence, your house, your airplane, maybe you've got an ocean liner that you own and you want to know how to clean and seal it. I'm the man. I'm the guy. All right. So you got to ask a question though, and you have to check in. Look who checked in: Don, Stevie. Uh, wait a second. Wait a second. It's Jennifer. All these wonderful people. Jennifer, do you read my column in the? Are you in Spokane or in the Seattle Times? My column runs in both those papers. So check in if you've not checked in. Yes, Jason, that's a great idea. Give me a flipping break. I'm working on it. I'm telling you, I'm going to get the t-shirts. Oh, all right. What's this about? All right. So this is what I worked on in the past 45 minutes. This is a letter that is done. Isn't that a beautiful stamp? Those sun stamps. You can't get them anymore. I bought a bunch of them to send to my ham radio buddies. This is a letter that's going to the CEO of YouTube. All right. Personal and confidential. What's it about? Oh, you live near Spokane. Yeah. Out there in the desert. Pretty dry out there. Pretty dry east of the Cascades. Anyway, if you remember on Wednesday on the live stream at the end, I kind of went off the rails, as I often do. Jason will tell you. Jason, tell everybody how often I go off the rails. All right. I was a little feisty, and what happened is I was upset at YouTube because they had not they had not invoked two things on my channel. And if anybody deserves them, this is my opinion. In my opinion, I deserve them because I'm the original home improvement channel on YouTube. The first one. I actually uploaded, get this, before Google owned YouTube. All right, when Chad and Steve, what Chad Hurley and Steve Jung or whatever his name was, they were the founders of YouTube. They're sitting there trying to get YouTube going. All these kids on skateboards were the ones using it. Um, well, Google knew that video was going to be big, early on. Google, they got the smartest people in the world, or a lot of them that work at Google. At least they did back then. So they started a thing called Google Video. You may not even remember that. You can't even find it now. All right. Well, the reason why is because they started Google Video back in 2003, 2004. They approached me in 2004 when I was on the campus at Google. I've been out to the campus many, many times. All right. So I've been to Google. I used to call it the mothership, going to the mothership. And they approached me one of the times I was out there, the top two or three people from Google Video, and said, "Hey, um, do you have any videos by any chance?" And they said, "If you do, we would really be honored if you would upload them to Google Video." And I said, "Yeah," I said, "I've got 200 of them." And their eye, this is what their face looked like. I'm serious. They said, "Did you say 200 videos?" I said, "Yeah, yeah." I said, they said, how's that possible?" I go, "Oh, it's easy." I said, "Well, for the past 3, 4 years, I've been the home improvement expert for the ABC and NBC TV affiliates in Cincinnati, Ohio. And when I negotiated my contract with them, I mean, you're going to love this story. All right." And there's a teaching moment here. So I had been on the internet. I was one of the, if not the first home improvement website on the internet, one of the first. I know I'm the longest lasting home improvement website. That's a fact. That there may have been people before me, but they've crashed and burned. I could tell right away. All right, I had been using computers since 1985, and my original one's right behind that door. My original Texas Instrument PC. And I mean, think about it. If you remember way back then, even now, what are you looking at? You're looking at a flipping television. I mean, the monitor was just a TV. All right, there was no video back in 1995. All right, online. Why? I was using a 1200 baud modem. All right, come on, 2400 baud maybe. Uh, anyway, um, but I knew video was going to come to the internet once they figured out how to make faster modems or whatever it would take, cable lines, you know, DSL, blah 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 blah, and whatever. Now fiber optic, blah blah blah. Uh, that video would come. All right. So I negotiated with my contract with the TV stations. I said, "All right, I'll do the segments," and they paid me really well, paid me a lot of money. I said, "I'll do it, but I own the copyright. I own the copyright because all the information's coming out of my flipping brain, and I'm writing the scripts. You're not. All you're doing is supplying the flipping videographer. And on top of that, I said, um, at the end of each video, I'm going to tape my own close. You're going to edit that in, and then each week you're going to hand me a finished produced tape of what my segment." And you know what they said? "Okay, whatever you want, we'll do it." So here's what I would say. All right, so this is an example. So I would go, something like this. This is a joke, of course. "Okay, remember, this is the end of a video. This is the end of a typical video. Remember, if you're going to build and you're going to have to dig a hole for a foundation, it might be helpful to get one of these machines, full size. They really do a good job of digging. I'm Tim Carter for Eyewitness 9 News." And then the videographer would hold his thumb up, meaning good take, we're good. Then I would go 3, 2, 1. And remember, if you're going to dig a hole for a basement, you probably want to use a machine like this, but full size. They do a really good job of digging a hole. I'm Tim Carter. Ask the builder. Simple as that. All right. So then, obviously, each, a week goes by. Within 2 years, I've got 100 videos. Within 3 years, I've got 150. And I had no place to put them. I mean, I had all these tapes collected, but video was not yet on the internet, but I knew it would come. So that's how this. So anyway, long story short, I uploaded my videos to Google Video, unbeknownst to me, in the background, Eric Schmidt, Sergey Brin, Larry Page. They met with, you know the story, don't you? How they did the deal with YouTube. Maybe you've never heard this story. It's actually fascinating. They made an introduction to, to Chad Hurley and Steve Yang. I can't remember I've got his name wrong. I think I know it's Chad Hurley, but his partner in YouTube, Stephen. I think it's Stephen Chang. I don't know. I've got to meet both of them years ago. Got to meet both of them. Steve was really nice. Chad was kind of an asshat. All right. Uh, anyway, they reached out and said, they said, we are really interested in acquiring you. Well, so to keep it under the radar, you know where they had the meeting at? They had the meeting at a Burger King, inside a Burger King restaurant, I think in San Bruno, California. I'm serious. This is true story. Because they figured, if no one would follow Eric Schmidt and Sergey Brin and Larry Page into a flipping Burger King. All right, what could they're hungry? Big deal. We'll wait out here in a parking lot. So they all sat down at a table and hammered out the deal of when Google bought YouTube. True story. I'm telling you right now. It goes off the rails a lot. All right. If you have any questions about your house, and also that's true. I haven't said that. If you have any question about your house, you can ask it. It does not matter what it is. It can be roofing question, plumbing question. I'm a master plumber. All right. It can ask me a painting question. You could ask anything you want. It does not have to be related to deck stains. So that's why I do the live stream, to try to save you time and money. All right. All right. So anyway, that's a crutch word. Jason is probably laughing right now. Anytime he hears me say anyway or so, and you know what crutch words are. If you've not been in like television or radio, doing what I'm doing right now, a crutch word is when something comes out of your mouth because your mouth is going faster than your brain, and your brain is screaming at you, say something, say something. It doesn't matter what it is, keep their attention. When in reality, instead of saying a million times, I know people who talk and they say or I swear they'll say or every fifth word. And it's so annoying. If that happens to you, all you need to do, this is what the professionals will teach you, just shut up. Just, it's okay to have a pause like this. You can then collect your thoughts and come out with and sound coherent instead of saying and a million times. Just shut up. But for me, it's not so easy. I still say anyway, and so, and also another one of my crutch words on video is okay. I say if you look at some of my past videos, it's horrible. I just shake my head. I was actually looking at some of them yesterday because I went in and I changed. I'm actually doing an experiment right now, and it's actually was frustrated. It was about this letter to the CEO of YouTube. I'm so frustrated that they have not turned on that thanks option for me. Have you noticed that? Have you gone to YouTube and on certain channels, right below the video, they've got all these options like share and whatever, clip and whatever. Well, one of them is a thing that says thanks with a heart. You know what that is? You click that and you can leave the creator a tip. You could leave him 50 cents, a buck, $5, $10, because he saved you some money or she saved you some money or helped you. All right. Just in other words, hey, good morning, Dust. In other words, I mean, even like now, like for example, and this actually worked the other day. Get this. This is really cool. So I'm going to share something with you. This is a true story. It was very cool. This worked. Come on, bring it up. Here we go. So here's what I was doing yesterday for about an hour and a half. I was putting this link with a sentence. The sentence said something like, "Did my video above help you?" And I said, "If so, why not buy me a mocha chip ice cream cone?" And then I put this link in right there. And so I haven't. Nothing happened overnight. It's still pretty early, but I put it in my top 100 videos. Videos that have over 100,000 views. So I put it in the description, and I also put it as the top comment. Um, there, see, correct word, top comment. That you see underneath the videos. And I don't know if you're aware of this. I'm sure you are. The owner of the channel has the ability to pin certain comments. Well, any comment. I can pin it so it always stays at the top. And I had pinned a bunch of other ones, but I thought, well, that's stupid. I should put in an ad for my own thing because since Google's not turning on, I'm sorry, since YouTube is not turning on this feature until such time as they do, I'll try to do it myself. So that's what I was doing. I was putting in a bunch of these links to that Tim's tip jar. So what happened on Wednesday, towards the end of the thing, a young woman, turned out it was a woman. I mean, that's the trouble with these usernames. I don't know, like Strongbred Breeder, which is Jennifer. You would not necessarily know that's a woman. So obviously Jennifer must have something to do breeding some type of animal. I don't know what it is. Dogs, horses. I don't know. Chickens. Uh, okay, I'm going to talk about indoor heating in just a second. You can't scale the whole lumber thing, but I'll do it if you want. Actually, let's do a little fun experiment here. There's only a few people here this morning. I get it. If you would like me to autograph a small piece of 2x4 and put a personalized message on it, just say yes. Just say yes right now. I mean, it would cost you a little bit of money because I have to mail it. It's not expensive, super expensive, but just say yes, or or just say no. It does, if you don't want it, obviously you won't say anything. All right, we'll see. It's going to be really interesting. Oh, here's I never finished the story. At the end of when two things. I'll finish the first one. Late on Wednesday, this woman came here and she asked me how to build a beam, a wood beam, and how to splice, how to splice it, how to make the splices, what glue to use, and what fasteners, and what the fastening pattern was. I told her, and at the end of it, I said, "Hey," I said, "Yeah, I just helped you. Why don't you help me?" And I pasted in that link. Um, I pasted in the link, and I said, I kind of put her on the spot. I said, "Well, why don't you? Maybe you can buy me 3 ice cream cones." She did. I mean, within minutes, she had went and made a $10 donation. So very cool. So it works. The so that's the purpose of this letter to the CEO, Susan Wojcicki, is say, and it's a really professional letter, and I said, I said, here's who I am. I'm the original YouTube partner. I'm one of the original 50. I'm the first home improvement channel on YouTube. I was the AdSense poster boy. I've been out at the campus. I uploaded 200 videos to YouTube or to Google Video before you guys bought YouTube. Blah 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 blah. So anyway, uh, we'll see if it works. We'll see if this. I mean, because think of this. In this here, in what I had said at the end of the live stream on Wednesday, I was ranting. I was begging you, but I already know that my guess would be not one person did it, but that's okay. Everybody's busy. I get it. All right. And it's like typically, when someone asks you to do something, have you ever thought about that? I'm sure you have thought about this actively or subliminally. Like if somebody asks you, I don't care what it is. They could ask any question. You typically might say, you rarely say this out loud. You probably say this out loud to your husband or wife, but you might say, "What's in it for me?" Like in other words, why should I? Why should I do it? Why should I help you? And of course, sometimes if you can't answer that question really, really well, your people aren't going to do it. So I asked you on Wednesday to go to just go to YouTube's homepage, and they've got a contact us page, and just write a simple message saying, "What the hell?" You don't say that, but just say, "Why can't I make a donation to Tim? You know, the Ask the Builder channel. Why can't I do that? I want to. He's helped me. He's helped me save thousands of dollars. I want to give him some money." And but, so if here's the teaching moment here. This is really important because I've owned my own business for 48 years. This is a true story. This is why taking the time to do that is really important. The people who own businesses like me, if every day my phone doesn't ring, if the phone does not ring, or if I don't get any emails with complaints, you know what I think? I'm serious. I think, and you're the same way. If you work, if each day you go to work and your boss does not call you into the office and reprimand you for being lazy or whatever, if that does not happen, you think everything's cool. I must be doing a great job. Well, guess what? That's not true. A lot of people could be pissed off at you. A lot of people could be unhappy with your product, but they're not saying anything. The point is if you are unhappy about anything with a business, you need to let the CEO know. You need to reach out and contact him. You don't have to be nasty. Just have to say, look, here's the problem. See if you could fix it. And you tell me how many old-fashioned letters. I'm serious, and I signed it with this pen. I signed it with a flippin' traditional fountain pen, not a crappy ballpoint pen. All right? It's very obvious it was a fountain pen. You tell me how many traditional letters on paper do you think Susan gets every week? Not many. Those things get attention. All right. I'm caught up. Jason wants a flipping another piece of wood. You know, you're going to have an insatiable appetite. Now I know what you want. You want me to sign a flipping 2x12, a big giant piece. All right, let's see if I got. Here we go. Let's go back up to Jennifer's comments. All right, I was right. I guess that she bred dogs. I would love to know more about in-floor heating. I breed dogs and want to heat the floor in the winter because they straw. I want to use oil and heat. Propane with this. Okay, easy. Jennifer, nothing to it. I'm an expert in the area. I put in the radiant floor heating in my daughter's new home. You use this type of pipe. Well, not this exact one. All right, this is PEX. All right, so I can bend it. Very durable. Uponor, Uponor. Listen, write this down. Uponor, Uponor, Uponor is how it's pronounced. I think German company. They were the leaders. They were the ones who invented PEX. And they make a special one for radiant heating. This particular one, this blue one, is for a water line that you would drink water out of, or you would take a shower, a cold water line. They make a special one called HEPEX, and it's one that has got a special barrier on the outside that inhibits oxygen from getting into the pipe. You have to use that special pipe. It's easy to get, but you can't just use any PEX for radiant heating. Now, you want to do it on a concrete floor, so that's why you have to use PEX. I would not use an electric system in combination with concrete. Right here where I'm sitting, this is a wood frame. It's the attic above my garage, and the floor underneath me has radiant heating in it that I installed maybe 7 years ago. It's electric, but it's by New Heat. It's a mat. Works really well, but it works. Those mats work much better with wood than they do concrete. In your case, I would guess that you don't have a big area. I don't know. Tell me, how big, Jennifer, would the area be This, what would it be the size of the building that you want to heat? Could you tell me that? Roughly, just roughly. Like, is it the size of a shed? Is it the size of a garage? Is it a huge building? I mean, like a 2,000 square foot building? Tell me how big you think it might be. I got to drink the coffee before it gets cold. So, Jason wants another one. So, all right, I'll make another one for you. Matching set. I'm going to actually go out and buy a brand new 2x4 to do it with. Each building is around 10 by 12. Okay, small sheds. You can get by with just a water heater. That's all you need. A water heater would, I know it sounds crazy. You don't need a full blown, giant, expensive boiler. Like, in other words, in my home, I heat with radiant heat. Although the boilers are not expensive, I have a combi boiler that's both heat and it also provides all the hot water for domestic heating. Brand new, you go to supplyhouse.com. I can't say enough good things about that company. It's an online company for plumbing supplies. Supplyhouse.com. You can buy the boiler that I have for like 20. Well, inflation's raging right now. I could go off the rails on inflation. Um, Jason will tell you that. The last time I checked, maybe 2 months ago, was $2,700. And I know that water heaters are kind of expensive, but you can probably get a water heater, Jennifer, I don't know, 400 or 500 bucks. And then all you have to do is it gets a little complex. I mean, you have to have a pump. You have to have a pump that's tied to a thermostat so that when it's time, when the thermostat says, "Hey, it's getting a little chilly in here, man," um, the thermostat, just like at your home, like when your thermostat calls for heat, when the temperature drops in your house, all of a sudden the furnace goes, "Whoa, we got to get to work." Fire comes on, and you get heat. All right. And once the thermostat's satisfied, it stops. The radiant heating works the same way, but what happens is the little pump starts up and it starts pumping the hot water through a loop under the concrete floor, and it brings water back to the water heater that's cold or cooler, and then that tells the water heater, "Whoa, we got to turn on. We got to make some more hot water," and works really, really well. So you don't need a big expensive boiler. You can get by with a water heater. Hooking all this up, making it all work, probably not a DIY job. Probably not. A little complex, but it's not too bad. You might find some videos on YouTube that show you how to do this. But I'm just telling you, the key thing is making sure, if you know if you've already built these things and you didn't insulate the floor, I mean, you're in trouble. Of course, how are you going to get the PEX pipe under the concrete if you've already built them? So if you're going to build them, you, like where you live, Spokane, I would probably, I mean, you could probably get by with 2 inches of insulation. Um, you know, the closed cell, the baby blue, powder blue stuff, which is made by Dow, or the pink, which is made by Owens Corning. But that closed cell foam, you would definitely want to insulate, where you're going to have trouble. And this might require one of my consult calls because it's so complex. If you just have a regular slab building, what happens is the edges of the slab are exposed to the outside air when it's cold in the wintertime. And that simple thermodynamics, heat is drawn to cold. And if you don't stop that transfer of heat, then your water heater is going to run all the time. You're going to go broke. So you have to know how to completely insulate the whole slab. All right. So the answer is it can be done. I know how to do it. Probably might require one or two of my consult phone calls. All right. Definitely not DIY. Yeah, I would agree, Justin. It's really, yes, exactly. That's exactly right. It's, Jennifer, it can be done. And let me tell you, your dogs are going to be happy as can be. They're going to be so happy. Man, they're going to be so happy. And just so you know, understand that here's a new, and let's talk about this. This is kind of interesting. This is a new product that I created since the last live stream. Check this out. You're going to love this. And this came as a suggestion from one of my This came as a suggestion from one of my past customers. What would you say if I told you, hold on, what would you say if I told you that you and I could talk on the phone? You wouldn't have to take any notes. You could just sit there and have a comfortable conversation. You don't have to remember anything I tell you because I don't know, within a half an hour after the call ends, as long as I don't have to do something, um, in an email, I send you a transcription, a complete transcription of the phone call. Do you think that's a good idea? Well, actually, let's do a poll. Let's do a quick poll. This, oh, it's really hard to type in it. Right. I didn't word it really well, but you know what I mean. All right. So go ahead and take that poll real fast. Be kind of interesting. Um, be interesting to see what you say. Um, I got this. I got the idea from a past customer. He actually lives here in New Hampshire. He originally reached out to me maybe 6 7 years ago because he's a subscriber to my newsletter, but he had his roof shingles. He had the same crappy roof shingles I had, and he so I went out. I visited his house. He paid me. I told him what to do. Blah blah blah, and we kind of became friends. We don't contact each other regularly, but he then eventually got a new roof put on, and he on part of his roof he put these. We get a lot of snow here in New Hampshire, and he put these snow guards on his roof to try to keep the snow on. He put on a metal roof, a metal shingle roof, beautiful, beautiful roof, very expensive, and well, he's getting leaks, and he couldn't get any satisfaction from the roofer, even though the roofer's a top one, blah blah blah. So he was thinking about suing the roofer. So he reaches out to me, and I actually talk about him in tomorrow's newsletter. If you don't get my newsletter, you should get the newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter right now. Sign up for the newsletter, um, and there's a little thing about this story about it. We had the conversation. He emails me after this thing, after the conversation, and he goes, "I want to thank you for talking me off the ledge." So talking me off the ledge. In other words, he was going to take this jump off the ledge, not commit suicide. Well, he was going to, yeah, actually, he was. He was going to commit financial and psychological suicide. All right. I'm serious. He was about to do it. In fact, I got to write that down because I'm going to edit the newsletter. Stand by. I got to write something down. All right. Got it. I'll change that in the newsletter. It's going to be nice. All right. So, um, the um, the whole point is that he then somehow came up the conversation about these consult calls, and here was the alarming thing. I get people every week, 30 people come to my website. They hit the Ask Tim page where they ask me a question, and some of these questions, they Jason knows. I have read some of these here on the live stream. They are very complex. Well, just like Jennifer's. Jennifer, she may think, I'm not saying she thinks this, Jennifer, I'm not saying you think this. You may think, though, but some people do. Some people would think, oh, how hard could it be just to heat the floors in these flipping 10 by 12 sheds I want to make for my dogs? It can't possibly be that hard. Are you kidding me? You could write a book about it. Just, and and so I will answer a person. I've done this for years. I go, this is not a simple yes or no answer. I can't even answer it in 2 or 3 sentences. But I said I could probably do a pretty good job if we get on the phone and talk for 15 minutes. And the 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 conversion rate, get this, the conversion rate of the one, oh, you need to understand this too. We're not talking about a $10 problem. In other words, like in Jennifer's case, if Jennifer makes a mistake, if she, for example, if she goes to some other website, here, this is true. Jennifer could go to some other website and say, it can't be this hard. So she goes to some other website. If Justin's still here, he'll agree. And Jennifer goes to another website and they say, oh, it's so easy, man. Just put the flipping pipes in, just cover them with concrete, just connect one end of the pipe to the water heater, cold line, one to the hot, and get a pump and then put it on a timer for every 5 minutes to turn on. Everything's going to work great. So Jennifer does that. She spends thousands and thousands of dollars doing this. All right, thousands of dollars. And now understand this: the pipes are in the concrete. All right, she poured the concrete. The other website didn't say anything about insulation. The other website didn't say if you don't insulate it, you need to hold it this many inches away from the edge. I know what that magic number is. I'm not going to say it here. The other website, the hobby blogger guy, did not talk about how tight the loops have to be, what the spacing has to be. He didn't talk about HEPEX, blah, 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 blah. The list is a mile flipping long. So Jennifer does all this. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. The dogs are freezing cold. They're shivering. You've seen cold dogs before, right? I mean, anyway. So understand that, I'm sorry, I'm going off the rails a little bit. So just understand that these problems that people come to me with, they're complex. And if they make a mistake, like if Jennifer makes a mistake, $10,000 out the window. Why don't you just take the freaking 10,000, go down to the street corner and scatter $100 $100 bills. Seriously, go to the bank, get $100 bills, throw them in the air, and walk away. People walk down the sidewalk. Holy tomato! Look at this money. All right, so that's what happened. And so you got that whole picture in your head. People are going to lose. And I tell them in the email, if you make a mistake, it's going to cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. You know what the conversion rate is? Not even 1%. Not 1%. Not one person out of 100 take me up on the idea and place an order. And what's it cost? $50. $50 for a simple phone call. It's $100 for this for my new transcribe one. And it's a little bit of work because what do I have to do? I use this thing. I set my cell phone on speakerphone, tested it. It works really well. This is a really expensive, high performance voice recorder. And then I have to capture the call, turns it into an MP3 file. I then have, after the call's over, you have to understand what I have to do. Then I have to plug this into my computer, suck down the file, have to take this to a software that converts it into a transcript. Then I have to, save that, upload it to Google Drive. I upload the recording because they not only get the recording, they get the big, huge MP3 file. You get the MP3 file plus you get the transcription. Well, that all takes extra work. It's another 15 minutes, of my time. So I think it's a good deal. We'll see. 88% of the people agree. All right. So Stevie thinks this is enjoyable. Wait till I go off the rails. Jason, tell Stevie what happens when I go off the rails. All right. Let's see. Yeah, Justin, that's right. You've done the other side of them. Yeah, insulation is a must. Absolutely. What's really important, Jennifer, if you're going to do this, you really have to understand how you're going to build this structure, and you have to isolate. And I'll actually draw it for you. I'll give this away. I'll show you. This is really kind of cool. Let me. I got my box right here. I know it's a damn good thing Will's not here, right? So Will's out on the golf course. All right. If Will was here, Will would say, Where's your where's your where where's the whiteboard at? Jennifer, don't go anywhere. Because I'm going to show you how you would do this, how you're going to build this, and the dogs, and you're going to waste like minimal money. So watch this. All right, bear with me. All right, I'm drawing. All right, so I'm not a woman. All right, this is really important. Pretty obvious. I'm not a woman, right? I mean, some people might look like me and be a woman. All right, I actually saw one at the grocery store yesterday. All right, I got to get this. Here we go. All right. Anyway, I here's the whole point. I can't multitask. In other words, if Jennifer was doing this, Jennifer could continue to talk and draw and keep your attention. She's a woman. I'm a man. I cannot multitask that well. All right. I'm almost done here. Jennifer, I'm going to save you big money here. Hold on. Almost done. Almost done. Almost done. Almost done. One last thing. Oh, I should sell this. This, Jason, this is another idea. I should actually, you know what I'm going to do, Jennifer? First time, Jennifer, you need to do this right away. You need to go to my Ask Tim page. Go to askthebuilder.com. Actually, this is a good idea. So, Jennifer, go. Jason's going to be so angry here right now. Jennifer, go to askthebuilder.com. In the upper navigation, go to Ask Tim. Click that, and then just fill out the form. But I need you in the where you type your question. Just say, Tim, I'm Jennifer from Spokane. Here's my address. All right, give me your address. I'm serious. I'm not going to stalk you. I'm not going to post it on the flipping internet. I'm not doing that. All right, um, and I'm going to mail you the picture I just drew. I'm going to give it to you as a gift. I think we could have some fun with this. All right. So from now on, I Will's here. Look at talk about lurkers. Are you kidding me? All right. So anyway, uh, Jennifer, get me your flipping address. And I'll mail it this morning. All right. I'm getting ready to go out, so I want to mail this to you. All right. So I think it's done. All right. So here it is. So here's what Jennifer needs to understand. This I'll try to do my best here. All right, so this is the foundation of her 10 by 12 shed. Notice when you build a concrete foundation or even if you do a concrete block, you don't have to have it full width all the way up. All right. You don't have to have it 8 inches all the way up like this. That's where the rookie builders make a mistake. You can create a drop ledge. All right. So in this case, I would make this drop ledge probably 8 inches. So imagine this is poured concrete. All right, these areas here are the 2 inches of closed cell foam insulation. So we're trying to isolate the cold. In other words, we don't want the heat from the shed to kind of go out this way because that's what it's going to do. Remember, heat goes to cold. It's not the opposite. It's not cold goes to heat. You feel that, but that's not what really happened. But here's what's really important. This piece of foam, which is maybe 6 or 8 inches high, is you take a circular saw and you cut a 45-degree angle on it. You chisel cut that. And because that allows the concrete to come all the way over to the edge of where the inside of your room is going to be. All right. So this is the wall of the shed. All right. And this out here is the siding that comes down and overlaps the foundation so you don't get any leaks. And of course, the soil level out here is like down here. Actually, I put that in with green. Grass and soil. Oh, Jennifer, understand, I'm going to autograph this for you. I'm going to autograph this. So it's not I'm just sending the picture. I'm going to autograph it. So Jason's pissed right now. He'll get over it like a bad cold. That's what I used to tell all my girlfriends when I broke up with them. No, it's the other way around. They told me, they broke up with me. And they would say, you'll get over it just like a bad cold. Well, it was true except for one. All right. So I didn't get over the one. All right. So the soil levels down here. You remember, Jennifer, you want to have a minimum of 6 inches from the soil to the underside of the siding. All right. So now here's the radiant heating tubes. Put them 1 foot on center. Slab can be 4 or 5 inches. And this is how you stop the heat from going this way. It's really simple. Pretty cool, huh? All right. So, Jennifer, I sure hope you did it. Hi, Bob. How you doing? Whiteboard. I know. Didn't I tell you, everybody? Whiteboard, whiteboard, whiteboard. We're not doing the whiteboard because I found all this paper, and I'm just going to use the paper. And send a tip. Okay, so I'm not going to check my email during here, so I assume. So let me ask a question. So did you all right, so you've sent me well, so great. So if you send a tip, well, then I'll see your thing on the order form. Actually, I could do that right now, but I just want to make sure I got your address because I want to mail this to you today. All right, I want to mail this today. All right. Here we go. Maybe you're right. I'll tell you if I got it. Hold on a second. Yes, I got you. I got it. Yes, I got it. Thank you. I'll be thank you for the tip. I appreciate it. Thank you. Very nice. Very generous of you. Thank you so much. All right. I'll email this and I'm going to sign it. I hope I get it right. I'll say this, if there's something you want, if there's a special inscription you want me to write, you got to let me know what it is. Otherwise, I'm going to make up my own. All right. I'm sorry for the little ballpoint pen or the little scribble of my pen that I did this morning. This was the scribble I did of my fountain pen before I signed a letter to Susan, the CEO of YouTube. I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to look bad. Anyway. So Jason, that's what we're going to do from now on. And when I do a drawing, whoever I do the drawing for, I'm going to mail it to him. All right. So something fun. All right. Here's why I'm doing that, because Jason, God love him. God love Jason. Jason has said for months that he feels I'm a celebrity. I said in private email to him. So I'll grant him this, that, okay, I'll grant you that I'm a celebrity, but we have to agree that there are maybe 5 layers, maybe more, maybe 5 layers of celebrity. So at the top would be, I don't know, I can't think of a top movie actor right now. I'm sorry. How about Johnny Depp? All right, I just saw him on TV the other day. He's in court. He's in a big argument with his wife, his former wife. All right, so Johnny Depp. Harrison Ford. I can't think of any great. I don't go to movies that often. I can't think of any. Well, like I'll tell you one. Katharine Hepburn. All right, Katharine Hepburn up here. They're like top celebrities. All right. Maybe news anchors that you see. All right. Then there's other ones. In other words, if Katharine Hepburn or Johnny Depp went to a grocery store, he would get they would get mobbed. People would say, hey, or Mel Gibson or whatever. Hey, give me your autograph. Come on. So that's why you don't see these people in public. All right. They go, no, they're like, get away from me. Right. Well, then down way at the bottom, there may be other people like me who you may think I'm a celebrity. Okay, maybe I am because I'm on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Well, in 28 years, only three people have come up to me in public and not one of them has asked me for my autograph. Jason is the first. Jason's the first person to ask for my autograph. So he thinks it's worth. He thinks you could take that out onto eBay and make something. Here's what I told him. I said, let's do an experiment. Go ahead. I'll send you pieces of wood. You put them on eBay. Here's what the comments are going to be from the people on eBay. Who's Tim Carter? Mm. Oh my gosh. What do you mean it's too cold to play golf today? I've got a pair of winter gloves, all right, and it's sunny and it's not wet. Well, it is a little breezy out there as I look at the trees move. Yeah, I wouldn't go out on a breeze like this. You could bundle up, but then you can't swing really well. Oh, so those of you who, if you're new to the stream, Will is one of my moderators, and Will's been here like early on. I don't know how Will found me. I don't know. And he and Steve were the first two moderators. And anyway, it turns out Will's a golfer. I don't know if he has any other hobbies, but Will loves to golf, and Will's a good golfer. All right, Will's a good golfer, and he's not a pro. I don't know that he ever would have made a pro. He might have been pro if he had the ability to stick with it, and doesn't matter. But he's a really good golfer, can shoot in the 80s. All right. I love to play golf. I suck at golf. Here's how bad I suck at golf. So I went out to play on. I guess it was Thursday. Yeah, it was Thursday. Here's my scorecard. So here, I got to fold it. All right, so the front nine, this is only the second time I played golf this year. And like last year, I only played 2 or 3 times. The year before, I played 1 time. I didn't play that often. And the biggest reason I don't play is because once again, let me stop. If you've got a question about your home, that's why I'm here. You need to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk about golf and other stuff. All right. Oh, I'm going to tell you about the cake I made for Kathy yesterday. Oh my God. Anyway, I go to play golf Thursday. It was a nice day. It was a little windy, but sunny. Wasn't bad. I was never cold. Here's my score. Here's my scorecard. And luckily I thought about to do this. I thought to do you're going to see a bunch of stuff on its scorecard. You're going to go, what's that all about? But Will had said, hey, keep track of your putts. But I did better than that. I kept track of my drives as well. So here's my scorecard for the front 9. All right. Started out pretty bad, 2 6s. Although for me, you have to understand with my skill level, that's actually a par for me. But look at hole number 3, man. I parred it. Are you kidding me? And then I got a 7 and a 5 and a 6 and 2 5s and a 6. All right. So those are not bad for me. So I got a 49. All right. See that? 49. And I keep track of the putts, how many times I putted, and then the drives, where the drives ended up. So F means it was on a fairway. R means the rough. OB is out of bounds or whatever. So I did pretty damn good. I kept, in the years past, ball would be in the woods, gone. All right. Now, what happened on the back 9? Turn the scorecard over. Went off the flipping. I'm trying to get it so it isn't glare. Went off the flipping rails, man. 8 7 7 4 5 8 7 7 7. Are you kidding me? 60. That's horrible. 109. But look at this. I one putted on this one hole. So Will said he's going to come and play golf at this golf course I played. I'm going to go play at Will's golf course. That hole, it's a par 5, and it's a straightaway par 5, and it's downhill. I mean, the first 150 yards is flat, and then it starts to go downhill. And the green, I think, is probably the biggest green of any on the course. It's huge, pretty big. I mean, it must have it could have a 40-foot diameter. I'm sorry, 40-foot radius. So it could be 80 feet, a big, 80-foot diameter. It's big. It's huge. tilted, all right? And on the right's a pond. So if you shoot left, you're okay. You're not going to be in trouble. It'll bounce off a hill. You'll be okay. You never want to go right. Of course, they always, if you know anything about golf course designers, they they know most of us are right-handed, and right-handed people have a tendency to slice. So they put all the crap stuff on the right. That's where all the traps are, the ponds. Not all, but they want to punish you. They just want to make you feel horrible. All right. I um I get on that green. Let's see. Well, I got a 7, unfortunately, on that hole. Um, Wait a minute here. I'm trying to think. Am I looking at the right? um, yeah, I thought it was a par 5. Maybe it's a par 4. Could be a par 4. Anyway, um, yeah, it is. It's a par 4. No, wait a minute. Anyway, here's all you got to remember. I have to go back and really study that card again to make sure. I'm just telling you what happened on this hole. I'm a good 30 feet away from the pin, and it's downhill, and it's tilted down into the side, so it's a compound, you know. Anyway, it's got at least a 3-foot break, maybe 4-foot break. All right, which means you have to aim. You don't aim at the hole. If you aim at the hole, you're done. You have to aim away from the hole, and the ball curves into the hole. I tapped the ball, and I thought, well, it's going to get close. And I go to bend over to pick up my pitching wedge, and I look out of the corner of my eye. I'm going, wait a minute, that might make it. and so I stop and get back up and look. Boom, right into the hole. I mean, it's one of those things. You see it on TV on Saturdays because they it's on television, the pros. But you just wish sometimes, like, man, I wish I would have had somebody here videotaping this. It was a beautiful putt. Oh my gosh. All right. Uh, all right. Let's see. All right. Let's see what else. I'm getting caught up. Yes. Yes, Chitsa, I'm here. We're going to talk about golf. We're going to talk about the cake I baked yesterday for Kathy until such time as somebody asks a flipping question. I only, uh, you got to understand, I don't do these live streams to tell you about my personal life. I mean, I'll do it, but I don't think that's what you want to hear. All right. So anyway, until such time as Chits asks a question. So tomorrow is She Who Must Be Obeyed. It's her birthday tomorrow. I'm not going to tell you how old she is. Bad, 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 bad. You just don't talk about women's age, all right? And you don't talk about their weight, all right? I get it. So I, we're empty nesters, and if last year my daughter would have made a cake for her, and I thought I'm going to make a flipping cake, and my wife refuses to eat the cakes you buy at the store, the box cakes. All right, are you kidding me? So my grandfather was a baker. All right, my grandfather, he owned a bakery in Cincinnati, Ohio. So I've got some baking genes in me. And so in all these years past, Kathy said, "Oh, no, 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 no. Do not poison me. Do not poison me. Do not do that. Do not try to make a cake." So I thought, okay, I'm not going to tell her. I'm not going to tell her. And so a month or so ago, I don't know why, but she went to the King Arthur, the King Arthur Flour Company. She printed out a website, or she printed out a recipe and just laid it on the table. I don't know. I know it was not a hint. I think she intended to do it. But she printed out a recipe. You can go there. I'm gonna actually write a column about it. I'm gonna put it in the newsletter tomorrow. But it's a root beer chocolate cake with root beer chocolate ganache, if I'm pronouncing that right, icing. I had no idea what ganache was. Like, are you kidding me? What's that? So I looked at this recipe about 2 weeks ago. I'm eating lunch by myself one day. I eat breakfast and lunch alone because my wife and I are on different schedules by 3 hours. And I look at this recipe and I go, and I got to give King Arthur credit. Brilliant. The way that they list the ingredients in the left-hand column is exactly in the order that you put everything together. It's really cool. Like if you just march down the list, you're not going to make a mistake. And they keep things separate. In other words, it's very cool how they do it. It's like the ingredient list matches up exactly with the instructions. Whereas if you look at other recipe books, it's like they take the ingredient list and they just throw it up in the air, and wherever things land in the bullet list, good luck with that. All right. So I read the instructions and I go, this doesn't look like it's that hard to do. And better yet, I always thought that you had to use an electric mixer to mix the batter. And this one specifically was like, no, 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 no. We are just going to mix this by hand slowly. My guess would be they don't want you to put a lot of air into it, which would make the cake dry. So I thought that's perfect because I want to do this and not make any noise. All right. Because I have to make it in the morning when I don't see your question, Jitsa. What's going on? I'm just going to keep talking um, about cakes. So I had to do it in the morning when she's getting ready, and I just needed to do it as quietly as possible, and I thought I could surprise her. And I, what gave me away? Our stupid oven. We got a really nice oven. It's got a cooling fan on it that circulates air around the outside of the oven so it doesn't catch the house on fire. Whatever. So as soon as you turn the oven on, this stupid fan comes on. And I never thought that that would be loud enough to tip her off. Well, she heard that. So she knew I was up to something. But she didn't come out and say, stop, don't poison me. So I make this cake and it comes out. I mean, I'll tell you what, it came out pretty well. I got a photo of it. Um, I'm going to, if you subscribe to my newsletter, you're going to see a photo of the cake. Actually, I'm actually going to, I think today, if I have a chance, I think I'll have a chance later on. I can put together a quick page. I took a bunch of photos as I was doing it. And anyway, it came out pretty good, except here's what happened. So this is a true story. And if you're a woman, if you're watching, you'll laugh at this a lot. You'll really laugh at this. So in the instructions, they say, we recommend you use a bundt pan. And I knew what a bundt pan was, like one of those ring cakes, like the Jello mold things. But they said, listen, if you use a bundt pan that's got a really intricate design, and they did not define what that was, you could have really serious problems. That the cake's not going to come out of the bundt pan. And I thought, not me, man. I'm no flipping way. I'm not taking a chance. This is not my first time. And they said, they basically said, if you're a sissy, if you're weak, they didn't say this, but this is how I interpreted it. Meaning, if you're weak, if you're a man and you don't know what you're doing, then you can just use two 9-inch pans. Or if you really are a baby, if you're really, really a baby, like if you could just use a 10 by 13 or whatever, one of those flat things. And I thought, well, I can do two 9-inch. I can do that. So anyway, not knowing what a ganache was, but then I kind of figured it out. It's an icing that's thin. You kind of pour it on. Then, well, what happened is when I stacked the two cakes, the two layers on top of each other, they have a slight bevel to them so that you can get them out of the pan. All right, cake pans are not 90-degree angles on purpose. Well, you can patch that with regular icing, but not a ganache. So the sides of this cake look like crap. It looks horrible. So it hit me afterward, like, oh, no wonder they want to do a bundt pan, because then the bundt pan looks great, and you drizzle the ganache over it. It looks awesome. You don't slather it on with an icing knife. Blah blah blah. Hey, good, Louisa, how you doing? What's up? I'll tell you what's up. I'm talking about the birthday cake I made for Kathy. So finally, we get a flipping question. Chitza. Chitza bought a 75-year-old house, and it had moved to my property. The same one with a beam. There's no ridge beam. I have a screenshot from a video I can send. I hate to create a problem where there is none. So You've described the situation. You have not asked me a question. I need to have a question. So we're going to cut into the cake in a little bit here because we're going to go to lunch with my son, and you know, um, so he gets to he get so we get to see how the cake. Although I already know how it came out. So get this. So when I the cakes didn't stick at all. I could have done the bun pan. I could have done the bun pan. I got it down. I'm gonna redo this cake and I'm gonna do the bun pan. Um, the When I got the cakes out of the pan and put them on the cooling rack, it's kind of a long story, but I tried to move the one cake layer to get it back part of it was hanging over the edge a little bit. And I thought, oh, that's not good. Well, the cake was so soft and so moist it shaved a little bit of the top of that layer off, just a very little bit. And so I thought, well, we can't let that go to waste. All right. So I ate it. It's like, oh my God, this is good. Yeah, it's got root beer in it. And here's you'll laugh at this. So Chitsa, I need to know what your question is. You described the situation, but you have not asked me a question. Um, the This recipe, get this. This is if you're a woman, you're gonna laugh at. You're gonna laugh big time. This recipe called for star and I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce it right. Anise, I guess, anise. I don't know. I would call it anise because my aunt was a phonetics expert, so it's spelled Anise. So since it's got the E at the end, that makes the I long, a long sound, not short. I thought, what the hell is that? All right. Star anise. Are you kidding me? So it's a spice. And it turns out we had some here at the house. And my youngest daughter, I texted her and she said, yeah, Dad, I know we have some. Well, I had bought some seed. I saw that at the store. I bought that. I couldn't find star anise at the store. So it turns out, I mean, go look it up. It's interesting. It's an interesting spice. So we had some. I took one and it only needed like a quarter of a teaspoon or whatever. It didn't need much, maybe a half teaspoon. So we have a mortar and pestle and you have to grind it up. And I ground it. And boy, if you've never worked this star, it's a really potent spice, is all I can tell you. I mean, I can see why they don't want you to use a lot of that. Yeah, steaks like licorice. Exactly. Yeah, I was smelling it and I couldn't quite put my finger on what it smelled like. Very interesting. Chicha, should I try to put in a ridge bean? Ah, all right, finally the question. Okay, could be a 30-second delay, right? Um, Here's the answer to that question. Should you put in a ridge bean? You gave a really interesting clue. This is a great teaching moment. You said I bought a 75-year-old house and had it moved to my property. Okay. It's 75 years old. It got moved. It got picked up off the foundation and transported. Now, some people may think that's horrible, but if it's done right, it's not a big deal at all. So, Chitsa, what does the roof look like right now? In other words, is the roof sagging? Is the roof look like a humpback horse? I mean, is the roof in bad shape? Or does the roof look really good? Does the roof look, this is a rhetorical question, does the roof look like pretty much the day it was built by the carpenters 75 years ago? If it does, that's the answer to your question. Ah, I see. I got it. No worries, Chitsa. No worries, man. We all have to discover things. So does the roof look really good? Just yes or no. In other words, does it look like the roof's failing? Does it look like the walls are bowing out? There obviously is a delay. I don't know why YouTube can't fix that. It's horrible. Flipping delay. Um, all right. I'm just going to say, let's assume that the roof looks good. You don't have to put a ridge beam in. Everything's fine. You can build a roof without a ridge beam. It doesn't have to have one. I've done it all the time. Doesn't have to have one. Now, if you kind of want to change things up inside the house and you want to have more open space, you want to get rid of collar ties, the roof is perfect there. You don't need a ridge beam. Bingo. That's all I need to know. You don't need to do anything. But if you wanted to like have a gate, like have a vaulted ceiling, because now I got to tear this off because this is going to Jennifer. I'll draw one for you, Chitsa, if you want. So here's the here's a typical roof, all right? So rafter, and then this is a collar tie here, collar tie. So it's a triangle. So when you fasten this piece of lumber to the rafter here, and you fasten it here, you can see if you put weight at the top and push down this leg and this leg, they try to go this leg tries to go this way. Let's see if I can do this. This one tries to go this way, and this one, it's so hard to do in reverse. Tries to go that way. Well, if it didn't have this in it, this collar tie, it would do that. It would spread apart, and then it would actually bow the walls out. So now, if you live in a house and you want to get rid of these, like you go, I don't like those. I want to have a vaulted ceiling. I want to see the big vaulted ceiling. So then I kind of mess up this drawing, but you get the point. So then you could put in a ridge beam up here, a very big, strong beam. And all the weight from the roof would just lay on here, just like a steel I-beam in a skyscraper, and the roof won't collapse. So you could put a ridge beam in, but after the fact, doing it after the fact, it's a lot of work. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy amount of work. All right, like that is definitely not do it yourself. All right. So Chitsa, it's really crappy drawing. If you want me to send it to you, you got to do what Jennifer did. You got to go to askthebuilder.com, ask Tim, and you have to say, I'm Chitska. I'm not going to stalk you. Okay. I'm not coming to your house. I'm not going to publish your address online. I'm not going to come and take photos of you. All right. But I have to know where to mail the picture if you want it. If you don't want it, that's okay. But I'll just wait and see if you want it. All right. Any other questions about your houses? If not, I'm going to get out of here. Because I got stuff to do. I can't believe it's been an hour and a half already. Some of these live streams are lasting an hour and a half, and I thought that I'd be lucky that they'd last 30 minutes. Any other questions? I mean, wait till you see I wish I could share the photo here. I can't share the photo of the cape. It came out really good, except the sides. I'm really unhappy with the sides. All right. Stevie says I could listen to you all day long. I don't think so. Talk to Kathy. Kathy will say, no, bad. Kathy would say, that's a really bad idea. Kathy and I are going to be married. This is almost hard to believe. 48 years this September. We're flipping survivors. Oh my gosh. Not a lot. I mean, what's the divorce rate in America? 50%? Anyway, crutch word. Any other questions about your houses? Happy to answer them. And also, in that 48 years, I don't know, maybe 3, maybe 4 arguments. That's all. Here's the secret to it could be ask the marriage counselor. Start up a new website, ask the marriage counselor. So if you want it, I do autopsies all the time on people's house problems, all the time. And I'll give you I'll give you I cover one in tomorrow's newsletter. I'm telling you, if you do not get my newsletter, you've got to go to the website right now and sign up. AskTheBuilder.com, right on the homepage. Just fill out that form, your name, your email address, hit the submit button. All right, just make sure your email address is right. Then go check your email for the confirmation email. You got to click the link because it's a double opt-in system. All right. Um, yeah, come with a list of questions, Jennifer, next time. The I do autopsies on homeowner problems all the time, and the um, the common thread in almost all homeowner problems, and I've got one that tomorrow. You've got to wait till you see the photo, Yolanda's photo. That's her name, Yolanda. It's a beautiful name, and she lives in Indiana. So Jason, she might be your next door neighbor for all I know. She didn't tell me the town. And what happened to Yolanda happens to, I'm just going to guess, 1,000 people a day in America. 1,000 people a day. So sad. It doesn't need to happen. All right. So when if you have friends, or if, and I hate to say this to you personally, but if you have been in a divorce, like if you've gotten divorced, and you kind of can go back and look at the situation uh, with as little emotional attachment as possible, or you look at a friend or some other people you know who've gotten divorced, the commonality, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I'm not an expert, is the if you go down to the root cause of what caused the flipping divorce, it's all about being selfish. So, me, 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 me. You just think of me, 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 me. And as soon as that happens, bad things start to happen. All right. So if you want a relationship or a marriage to last for a long time, you have to, there's another word that's almost like it. It's so close. You have to be selfless. So selfless is completely different from selfish. They sound really close. And so when you're selfless, all right, you just, whatever. So you just have to know when to pick your battles. All right. And the, have you not watched the, it must be 30-year-old series from from the UK, from Britain. Uh, Rumple, on PBS, Rumple of the Bailey. Have you not watched that TV show? It's flipping hilarious. It was a TV series. It's a barrister, an attorney, an old grumpy kind of English attorney, and he calls his wife's name, she who must be obeyed. When I heard that 35 years ago, I thought, that's it, man. That's Kathy's name. So, and if you develop that strategy, she who must be obeyed, everything's going to go great. So that's Kathy's nickname, she who must be obeyed. When I say that to her, she just shakes her head, but she knows it's right. The more I obey, better things are. Yes, Jennifer, come with a bunch of questions. Oh, tomatoes. I'm starting over. I'm starting over. I swear to God, tomorrow I'm starting over. Because where we're going today for Kathy's birthday, she said, let's just buy some tomato plants. I know what happened. I overfed them. I burned the flipping roots. What a dumbass. What a dumbass. Jason, I live in the middle of nowhere, and the only neighbor I have isn't Yolanda. Okay. Poor Yolanda. You'll read about this in the newsletter tomorrow. She had this horrible problem. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I want you to get the newsletter. And she was heartbroken. And wait till you see the photo, you can understand why. And I respond back to her. I go, I know exactly how to fix this problem. I know exactly, but I cannot type it out. It's too much to type out. Too much. All right. And here's what happened. Just, I've been doing this so long. I type out the answer. I can tell you, I've done this for 25 years. And people like you come back with 5 more questions. I get it. I get it. You always have a follow-up question. I understand. Well, all of a sudden, I've got a half an hour involved going back and forth with email. I cannot do that all day. If I did that all day long, um, I'd be living. I'd be living in a cardboard box under the flipping overpass at exit 23 on I 93. All right. I can't make a living answering questions one on one all day. Cannot do it. All right. So Yolanda had spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this thing, and she would not spend $50 to find out how to. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. All right. 77%. I'm going to end the poll. 77% of the people want a transcript. I wish I would have known that years ago. Well, by God, you can get a transcript now, and it works really well. I did a test one. Um, I did a test and used the software. And what happened is I had a friend call me. In other words, I set the phone up. I put my cell phone on speakerphone. It doesn't have the best speaker. Turn on my or voice recorder. Um, Record. It was like a 2-minute phone call. Dump the MP3 file into the software. Oh my God, it came out perfect. Came out perfect. Crazy. So I'm in the transcription business if people take you up on it. So anyway, if you have any questions, this is the last call for questions. Last call, just like at the bar. And I know we've got a delay, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I'll jabber on for another minute or so. Otherwise, I'm out of here. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter. I'll put this in one last time. We'll see if it works. I doubt it. Well, I'll just here's the link. You like the transcribed phone call. If you want a transcribed phone call, there it is. That's where you go to get it. Farther up in the chat, in the live chat on the right, or wherever it appears on your screen, is the link for Tim's tips. If you want to leave me a tip, if you want to buy me an ice cream cone because you learned something today or discovered something, by the way, that's a trick. I'll just tell you right now. I hate it when I use the word learn. Learning is hard. If you're trying to write sales copy, don't use the word learn. Never use learn. People associate learn with, oh my God, learning. Oh, I remember learning stuff in school. It was so hard. But if I say, how would you like to discover blah, 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 blah. Discovering things is fun. Discovering means it's a game. So you got to use the right words. So here we go. Jennifer, does painting wood effectively cover all parasites or germs? Kind of an interesting question. The answer is yes. Oh, and I know why you're asking this, because of your dogs. So Jennifer, what you have to do, this is pretty simple. I know this because a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, he's retired now. He was a veterinarian. His dad was a vet before him, and my friend inherited his father's business. And he had a really nice. His father had built years ago, back in the 50s, a building specifically as a veterinary clinic. They didn't buy an existing building and try to make it work. So it was designed as one. So it was beautiful, beautiful job. And in the back, they had kennels, outdoor kennels that had a roof on it, so they could put dogs out there, concrete floor, chain link fence, so it could be cleaned easily. As you are thinking about these 10 by 12 sheds, I can already tell you, you need to just, first of all, if I was building it, all the lumber would be treated lumber. Everything would be treated. And I would have floor drains in the slabs. I would build it in such a way that I could go in there and clean everything really easily all the time. In other words, don't rely on paint, to to save the day and keep your dogs healthy. No, you just like your just think of yourself, meaning in your home. If your home had a bunch of parasites and dirt on the walls, and you thought, okay, and you've got a 2 month old baby in your home, oh, I'm just going to paint it. Everything's going to be okay. No, 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 no. You don't want to take a chance with your baby, right? So you're going to clean the walls and you're going to keep the walls clean. That's how you're going to keep your baby healthy. So that's how you're going to keep your dogs healthy. You're going to keep all these surfaces that the dogs are near. You're going to keep them clean. Now, this will help you a lot, just so you know. My stain solver, fantastic, fantastic. It's dried hydrogen peroxide. That's what this is. So the active oxygen ion, when you mix this with water, when you mix stain solver with water, you release oxygen ions, trillions of them. They're like cruise missiles. They will deactivate viruses. It will deactivate bacteria. You get it when you use stain solver on a surface. For example, if I was to come out and spray your surfaces with stain solver, a mixture of stain solver, as long as I keep the surface wet for 30 minutes, which is easy to do. You just use a hand pump garden sprayer, just keep the solution on for 30 minutes. 99.9% bacteria kill. That's the same bacteria kill you get with chlorine bleach. 99.9. It's just that chlorine bleach does it faster. But chlorine bleach is toxic to your dogs. This is not toxic, all right? Stain solver is not toxic. So anyway, are you kidding me? You always come in at the last minute. I'm just about ready to get out of here. It's Steve. So stain solver is how you're going to keep your dogs healthy. Stain solver. And if you've got any other dog breeder friends, boy, and you're on a forum or some kind of chat thing or Facebook group, man, would I appreciate it if you would tell your buddies about stain solver, Jennifer. I would really appreciate it. All right. So, yeah, the chat is really delayed today. I'm just about ready to get off. Steve, if you've got a question, now's the time to ask it. The only thing that's interesting that came in the news here the last few days is I saw this in the news here yesterday, Steve. Over here in America, over the past year, we've had this huge uptick in food processing plants that have had major fires or explosions. Very unusual. Very unusual. All right. That's I mean, it's statistically like off the charts. Like, and I think in fact in two of them, airplanes crashed into them. Are you kidding me? What do you think the flipping odds are? I mean, of an plane crash to begin with, and then what do you think the odds are of a plane crashing into a few distribution? I mean, food manufacturing plant. Crazy. All right. I'm not an actuarial guy, but that's crazy. Anyway, crutch words. See, you see, I could go on and on and on about crutch words. Don't forget Bill. Exactly. I know he is. It's horrible. Oh, what's going on? It's horrible. I'm telling you, it's horrible. But it's going to change. I'm telling you, it's change is coming. What I mean, just look what happened. Finally, did you see? I don't know, Steve, if it made it in the news over in the UK. Did you see what happened here in America in Florida yesterday? So Governor DeSantis is probably one of the strongest governors in America right now. He's a good guy, all right? And so, I did not know this. Get this. So I mentioned it on the live stream, I think on Wednesday. So 55 years ago, when the Disney Corporation, which is a California-based corporation, they decided they wanted to grow their business. So they wanted to make another Disneyland on the East Coast. So they picked Florida, and specifically where they are in Orlando, because it's got a great year-round climate, although it's horrible in the summertime. You never, excuse me, you would never want to go to flipping Disney World in July or August. Oh my God, you'll just be a puddle on the ground. It's so hot and humid. Oh, look at that. It's asking farmers if they want a lump sum. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. You know where that's going, don't you? All right. So anyway, um, let's see who's what Jason said. Did Jason say something that I missed? Uh, she might mean Steve. So anyway, Jennifer, if you're still here, I know you're here. Lennon Polo is Steve. All right, and Steve is in London. I hope you're not angry that I'm giving that away, Steve. Anyway, um, where was I going? I hate when this happens. Oh, so 55 years ago, when Disney decided to go to Florida, just as it's happened for centuries in politics, businessmen and politicians get together and make these incestuous deals. So Disney paid off the politicians, probably. There's no record of it. They probably got away with it. They paid them money 55 years ago to basically create this self-governing giant parcel of land that Disney put together. Do you understand what I just said? In other words, just imagine this 2,000 or 5,000 acre parcel of ground that the state of Florida can't come in and do anything. All right. It's basically like an Indian reservation. All right. It's basically Disney's got their own sovereign territory. So Disney has gone off the rails the past few years, pissed off. And what happened is Florida passed a law about the schools that Disney hated, because they want to teach the kids all of this LBGY, TCA, KP, whatever it is, whatever the letters are, whatever, all this horrible woke stuff, and they actually came out in public. The Disney company said, "Okay, we're coming after you, man. We're gonna marshal all of our resources, and we are gonna do whatever we can to overturn that law." DeSantis said, if you've ever played poker, if you've not played poker, this is a poker play. So DeSantis says, because in poker, here's what happens. If you're playing poker and somebody says, raises, like puts a bet down, like I bet this, they might be bluffing you. So you say, if you've got a really good hand, you'll go, I'll see your $20 and I will raise you 50. All right. So DeSantis said, "Oh, all right. I'll see your opposition to our LGBTI woke bill, and I will raise you that I am taking away your sovereignty." And he did it. He signed the bill yesterday. They're flipping toast. Oh my God. It's going to cost the Disney Corporation millions and millions and millions of dollars. It's crazy. Oh my gosh. I know. Well, yeah, but remember, DeSantis wasn't even born when Walt Disney was still alive at the time. When Walt Disney they secretly the corporation secretly had made a decision that they were going to expand. So they didn't want to tell everybody. So they just quietly, over a period of a few years, quietly started to acquire all this flipping swampland and all this crappy farmland. They who knows? They bought it for $50 an acre, probably some of it. But once they had assembled all the land, then that's when they went and made the deal with the devil. All right. So yeah, yeah. So DeSantis, it's you know, uh, it's. I'm telling you, it was major news here in America the last day or two. Major news. Major flipping news. So uh, the whole point is this woke stuff. It's coming to an end. It's coming to an end. And I talked about it on a past live stream. How my speculation is that I actually think that other people are in control, but we don't think they're in control, but they really are. This is speculation, okay? And and they're letting it's like they're letting the inmates run the asylum. All right. on purpose. They're letting him do it on purpose so that a bunch of regular people, all us small folk out here, go, "What the hell is going on? Like, are you kidding me? This is crazy." All right, so you have to wake enough people up, and then they go, "That's it. No, 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 stop." Because what's happened is too many people like you may be like the average person. It doesn't matter if you're in the UK where Steve is, or America, or you're in South America. You know, the average person, man, they've got their flipping nose to the grindstone. They're busy. They're scratching out a flipping living. They're not really paying attention. And the overlords, they love that. That's the kind of people they want. They don't want you to be paying attention. All right. So, but people like Steve and Will and Jason and Bob, you might be a lot of people who watch the stream are paying attention. That's good. We need more people to pay attention. Oh, you're not insulting us at all. That's what you get when you get a mail order president, Commander. He is, oh, he's horrible. He is, it's just, but like I said, think about this. Think about this. I have no proof of this, but it's so bizarre. If you were actually in charge and you saw which way it was all going, and you in other words, if here's what you need to know. This is really interesting. Look at the situation here in America. I mean, I'm a member of the working press. All right. So Jennifer, if you're still here, you're still here. Yeah. Uh, so I'm a member of the media. I write a syndicated newspaper column. So I'm a member of the working press. All right. Yeah, it's a home improvement column. I'm still a member of the working press. My column's syndicated in 60 papers, including the one near you in Spokane. So, and if you don't read my column, please start to read it, and please write a nice letter to the editor saying, "Hey, I love this guy." And you could say to him, "You should see this guy live on YouTube. He'll make you laugh." He talks about his wife in a good way, of course, never bad. All right, so think about this. I actually think my idea has some legs. I really think it does. Look at the situation in America. The mainstream media is in the tank. They're part of the cabal. All right. So here we are. We're trying to fight them, and it's like if you this is anybody who knows about the press. If you're in the media, you know you control things. Why do you think Jeff Bezos bought the Washington Post? Why do you think? Um, oh, gosh, it's horrible when you get old. What's his name? William Randolph Hearst. Why do you think William Randolph Hearst? You know, William Randolph Hearst got to start as a buying a little New York paper in New York City, and then he went on to basically own all of the papers on the West Coast. Became super wealthy. So when you control the message, you control the people. All right, that's a known fact. Uh, so if you were in charge, like if you were in charge and you knew you had all those odds stacked against you, and I mean, look what happened with Twitter and you, even here, this platform. That's why I can't say this word, right? That's why I don't say this word here on the live stream. It begins with this. And I don't say, I hope I'm holding my hand right. That letter, the letter, maybe it's this way. I don't know. Backwards. I think it's this way. I don't say those words on purpose because I don't want to get banned. All right. I call it the illness. So we have the odds stacked against us. So if you wanted to wake people up, because you can't depend on the media and all social media to do it, what would you do? What would you do if you wanted to wake everybody up? All those people that have their nose to the grindstone. Think about that. Oh, so Stevie, so Stevie, unfortunately, yeah. Stevie, so we know where Stevie is. That's okay. Stevie, you're okay. The problem is that if you're still here, Stevie, I doubt you are. You, um, you're a perfect example of how powerful propaganda is. I mean, I'm just telling you. It's just that's you've been unfortunately you've been a victim of propaganda, and and then what happened? Then couple that with as you get older, because what happens? We've talked about that here in the last name. As you get older, this is why people don't have said for years. Your mom and dad taught you don't talk about politics or religion with people, because it's internal hardwiring, and as you get older, it becomes very hard for you to change that internal hard wiring. It gets almost impossible. That's why it's that's why they try to indoctrinate children. So all of this is all interconnected. Don't you understand this? This is why they're trying to do all this bad stuff in the schools, because they're trying to change the kids' wiring in schools. Because if they then get that wiring set, it's harder to change it as they get older. Even when they're teenagers, it's hard. So Stevie is wired, unfortunately. What a shame. What a shame. It's actually sad. So anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, Stevie got hurt. So anyway, so FSU, so Florida State guy, he's so see sadly, so see Stevie wants me to stick to the builder stuff. That's true, but Stevie, unfortunately, I don't. You're probably gone. Um, I'm trying to wake people up. I'm trying to get people to. Here's what it is. Here's it's really this simple to show you how this all works. What's wrong with the system? And once again, remember, I'm a member of the working media. In other words, we could talk about flowers. Let's just say you like flowers. Flowers is your hobby. I know she's gone, but if you're not, if Stevie's still here, great. If not, if you're like Stevie, listen to this. Let's say you like flowers and that's your hobby. So let's just say there's all this information about flowers. The information about flowers is this big. There's all this different information about flowers. But if you only get this much, if you only have this much information about flowers, just all this stuff over here, and that's your world. In other words, if your world is just that, and then I like flowers, but I like all the information over here about flowers, and my information is different from your information. How is it that you expect us to have a conversation? Here's the real world example, because you might be confused by that. All right. So I've been an expert witness for 25 years. I've been deposed hundreds of times. All right. If you don't know what a deposition is where I have to give a sworn statement, generally in an attorney's office. And there's a court reporter there with one of the machines, and they record everything I say, because whatever comes out of my mouth would eventually be used in a trial. Before the deposition takes place, and I've also been a witness on the witness stand in a courtroom 3 or 4 times. Rarely do the suits go to court for a whole host of reasons. But here's what we have to say when the deposition starts, or when I walk up to the witness stand. You've seen this on TV. I say, I hold up my right hand and say, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. All right, most people totally miss that middle phrase. Do you understand? I'll say it again. I swear to tell the truth. You get that. Go, okay, yeah, the person's going to tell the truth. The whole truth. Okay, and nothing but the truth. Okay, I get that. You're going to tell nothing but the truth. They forget the part about the whole truth. Why do you have to tell the whole truth? Do you have any kids? Stevie, if you're still here, do you have any kids? No, Steve's gone. FSU, if you're here, do you have any kids? Anyway, if you have any kids, you know that when something goes wrong, you only get half the truth or part of the truth. All right, you only get part of the truth. So if you don't have the whole truth when you're looking at a matter, you cannot make the correct decision. So people like Stevie and people potentially like FSU grad are not getting all the truth. And I'm not even me. I'm not saying I'm getting all the truth. But what's happening is FSU and Stevie are getting this story over here. I'm getting this story over here. Steve and I are getting this story. So it's impossible for us to have a fruitful discussion. You can't do it because you're operating on different data sets. You don't have we don't have the same data. So FSU thinks that Trump is a jackass for whatever reason. All right, because over here he maybe have was indoctrinated or was just getting all this these half truths about Trump or about Johnny Depp or about climate change or whatever it is. So you're not getting the whole truth. So the sooner you would agree to that, like as soon as you say, and unfortunately Steve is gone. Uh, uh, Unfortunately, if you could get Stevie to admit, you know what, I never thought about it that way. I never thought that I'm not getting the whole story. And if FSU, if you would agree the same way, if you would go, I never thought about it that way. It is possible that I am not getting the whole truth about everything. That changes the whole ballgame, Commander. I maintain Florida State, guy or woman. You are not getting the whole truth. None of us are. None of us are getting the whole truth. All right. All right, I gotta go. It's 2 hours. 2 hours. Could be the longest stream ever. Just about. Um, Too bad that I offended Stevie. It doesn't matter. She'll get over it like a bad cold. Maybe she won't. Doesn't matter. Yeah. All right. Good. All right. Good. There, you admitted that. Good for you. You were on the pathway to getting woke up. All right. You're on the pathway to getting woke. You may not like it, but you are on the pathway. Because as soon as if you truly admit that you're not getting the whole truth, then you need to back off of some of your opinions about things. You need to back off. In other words, don't say Trump is a bad guy because you might not have all the facts about Trump. And you have to understand how you've only been getting you might not have been getting any truth about it. I'll give you an example. I've said this before. So you may think you know what happened here in America on January 6th of last year because of what you have seen or been told in the news. I was there. I was in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. I know what happened. I know what the truth is. I'm trying to tell you what you are seeing on television and in the news is not what happened. All right? I wrote a story about it. Yes, you're exactly right, FSU. All of the television stations have an agenda. You are only getting part of the truth. And on some of the stations, you are not getting any of the truth because they are consistently shown to be wrong. For example, CNN, MSNBC, and the whole mainstream media for 5 years kept saying Russia, 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 Russia. Trump is in collusion with Russia. That's what they kept telling you. And there was never any proof. They did all of the things, they did all the investigations, the Mueller report, everything. No, no evidence. So I got into I completely blew up one of my friendships over this about 2 years ago. I was in a really bad mood. I'm just going to say this, then I'm going to get out of here. So I'm going to FSU. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to challenge you with this because it sounds like you're a reasonable person, which is really great. Let's take your media situation where you get your news. Let's take this. Let's do this as an example. So it's just you need to understand you're being played. I've talked about this before. Here, you need to go if you have not. Okay, good. Listen to this. You need to go buy this book. I'm going to type in a link to a book, and it's going to change your flipping life. I'm going to type in a life-changing link. I'm telling you, please go buy this book on Amazon. So hard to type. Okay. Go buy this book. Go buy that book. It's life changing. Here's what it is. Here's what's happening to you. So I'll say this real quickly. I really do have to get out of here. You need to understand how powerful psychology is. Most people do not understand how powerful it is. Most people have no clue how easy it is to manipulate to make you do something. Do you understand? Most people have no idea how easy it is to become manipulated by somebody else. It's all done with psychology because there are five or six very basic triggers in every single human being. The only ones that don't work with, there's a few that it doesn't work with, and it's only because they're they're insane or psychopaths. All right, a psychopath and a sociopath are two people some of this doesn't work with. All right, but very few people are that way. You, Florida State grad, me, Steve, Will, Stevie, maybe even Jennifer, she might be long gone. I might have offended her. Oh well, doesn't matter. Here's what it is: psychology. The easiest psychological trigger, in other words, I can get you to do something by using psychology. Here are the examples. Number one, reciprocity. Reciprocity is the easiest psychological trigger to trip. Here's examples of reciprocity in the real world. You go to the grocery, you walk down on a Saturday, there's the woman in the apron with a little table set up with toothpicks and pieces of cheese. If you make, or pieces of sausage, if you make the mistake and take one of those free samples and you eat it, in your brain, almost automatically, you have to admit that I'm telling the truth, admit that this happens to you, you go, shit, boy, I really feel guilty if I don't buy some of this cheese off her plate. I really feel guilty. You know, you may not buy the cheese, but do you feel guilty because you did not buy the cheese? Yes. I'm telling you right now, 99 people out of 100 say, yep, yep, yep. I did feel guilty, but you know what? I walked away. That's reciprocity. Another example is buy one, get one free. You know, anytime another example of reciprocity is we'll come out and give you a free estimate for your roof. Blah, blah. There's a list a mile long of reciprocity. All right. All right. So now, Florida State grad, the second one is authority. You are a victim of authority. So authority is a very powerful psychological trigger. If you go to church like I do, have you ever noticed, like I'm a Roman Catholic, have you ever noticed? Okay, good, good, you're still here. So if you go to church, or if you look in the news, you look in the news, um, and you look at a story about the Pope, like the Pope. I mean, the Pope, pretty big person in the world, right? I mean, everybody would go, the Pope. Pope's a big guy. Have you ever seen the Pope wear a polo shirt or a t-shirt in a picture or video? No. Why is that? Have you imagine this? Imagine if somebody on the street came up to you and said, and they were wearing shorts and flip-flops and a tank top, and they said, "You're under arrest." You'd go, get the hell out of here. Get out of my freaking face. Now, if a police officer comes up to you dressed in a uniform, badge, uniform, I mean, like very fancy uniform, and says you're under arrest, you go, okay, okay, okay. You may resist, you may get shot, but why why do you react to the Pope the way you do, and why do you react to the priest at Sunday Mass? What does the priest wear at Sunday Mass? Wears really odd clothes, right? I mean, do you think a priest would go to the flipping grocery store just dressed in a chasuble and an alb? Are you kidding me? They wear those things because it invokes the trigger in your brain of authority. And you go, I better listen to this guy. He's pretty he must be somebody special because he's wearing these flipping crazy clothes. All right. So that same psychological trigger is automatically invoked with any mainstream media anchor. your brain automatically puts authority in them. So if they say something, you go, it must be true. They're a person of authority. All right. The next one is social proof. Social proof. All of a sudden, when the shamdemic started, if you go to the store and you see all these people wearing a mask, you go, everybody's wearing a mask. There must be something I don't know about. Look, everybody's wearing a mask. I'm going to go grab a piece of that bib lettuce and put it on my face. That's how powerful social. So how do you see social proof in the real world? Here's social proof. You see this all the time. I love my Klein flashlight. It helped save me the other night when in a power outage. I love the Klein flashlight because I threw it at my boyfriend and I got his attention because it hit him in the head. Ha ha ha. All right, that's social proof. You hear about 10 of those and you go, I'm buying the Klein flashlight. Look how good it is. It hurts boyfriends. It saves people in the darkness. It's got 2 LED lights. It's got an LED there. It's got one here. All right, that's social proof. Very powerful. All right, the most powerful one of all, scarcity. Scarcity is the most powerful psychological trigger of all. Here's scarcity. If you do not wear a face mask, you're going to die. If you do not get the jab, you're going to die. You're going to die. All right? Go read the book. I just put it up there. Go read the book. Go read that book. It will change your flipping life, Florida State grad. If you just get into the first 100 pages and you're going to go, here's what you're going to read. If you're honest, I can feel you're honest. You're not fooled. You may not think you're fooled by people in costumes, but you are. Trust me. You read the first 100 pages of that book, and I swear to God, yeah, Jennifer, it's an amazing book. It will change. Here's Jennifer. Here's you're gonna love. You read this book, Jennifer. When I read the book, I found out about it through some friends of mine. I was part of a very secret internet mastermind group. My business increased immediately, 35%. Jennifer, you're going to start making so much more money. Oh my God, you're going to make so much money. Good for you. Good for you. Anyway, Florida State Grid. Yeah, it is. You can get that Cialdini's book on anything, tape, whatever, Audible, whatever. But anyway, Florida State Grid. After you read the first 100 pages, I swear to God, you will say, here's what your reaction will be. It's going to be a mixture of anger. You're going to be angry. And you're going to be sad. Because you're going to say to yourself, you're going to honestly say to yourself, I'll be damned. I have been played all of these years. I mean, I'm going back till the day you were born. You've been played. We all have been played. But those people who have woken up understand why it happened and how to avoid continuing being played. And that's what I want you to take out from this, is how to avoid continuing to being played, because you are being played. For example, I'll just ask you this, it's a personal question. We don't know who you are, but did you get the jab? Could you answer me that? Florida State guy, did you get the jab? And I would ask this, like, in other words, why would you get, this is a rhetorical question. I'm not trying to get into a discussion about it. Okay, fascinating. Why would you get the jab when we're talking about an illness that has a mortality rate of 1/10 of 1%, 1/10 of 1% greater than the common flu? Why would you get the jab when they were calling it this word? It's the word that begins with that letter, when it is not that. I'll do it again. I did this before. Then I swear to God, I'm going to be out of here. You need to listen to this, Florida State. please. I'm not, and I'm not. Here we go. So this is a dictionary, an old dictionary, by the way, not the new ones that were the changing the meanings of words. If you don't have old dictionaries, you need to go to a bookstore and try to find them. You have got to get old-fashioned paper dictionaries. All right. So the V word. Here's the definition of the V word, of the three things that you got. Listen to me. Well, you think you got. This is the actual definition. It's a preparation, which means chemical brew, of a weakened or killed pathogen, such as a bacterium or virus, used to the verb. All right. So you have to change the word a little bit to make it from a noun to a verb. I'm a writer, okay? You need to understand that the three jabs that you got do not contain weakened or dead pathogen of what it's trying to do. Understand? So that means it is not a V, period. But they yet calling it that. Good for your sister. You're no disrespect intended. Your sister and your sister-in-law are victims of propaganda. Here's what I want you to do. Here, this would be a really great exercise. This will teach you, this will show you, and it may wake them up. Go grab a dictionary and in front of them, read the definition of the word and say, what you're telling me to do is not this. So what is it? In other words, what you told me, your advice, you told me to get this. And this says it's not that. Why did you tell me to get it? And here, go look at the flipping stats. Why would you have you were, first of all, you were played, all right? The best form of, you were played. Every single one of those psychological triggers that I just discussed, that's what was used on you. That's how it was used on millions of people. I feel sorry for you because you succumbed. The only reason I didn't get it, because I had read the flipping book. And I got it. I got this last August, all right? I got it. I got the illness myself. I survived. I have the best form of natural immunity. You've got squat. You've got squat. You were poisoned. It's called what you got. Just so you know, with the word, what you got, you did not get this. You got an experimental biological agent. That's what you got. And millions of others. I feel sorry for you. I hope you don't get sick, because many, many people are. FSU, go here. You want to know the truth about what happened? Tell your sister and your sister-in-law to go here and see what they say about this website. Oh, I've got that wrong. I'm sorry. It's this. I got it wrong. That's wrong. It's .org. Go to that website and watch your videos. This is somebody who was at ground zero. I'm telling you, you have been played, and millions of others. I'm sorry. It's a fact. Okay, good for you. You may have lucked out. You may have gotten the placebo. Go to that website. Get educated. But I hope you don't get sick. I really do. All right, got to go. We lost Stevie. She's just a what would you call it? Collateral damage. It just happens. It happens. Steve's right. Steve knows all about this. All right, I got to go. Yeah, been here a long time. Jason, Steve, Florida State. Jennifer, if you're still here, I got to address your envelope. That's what I'm trying to do. I got to get at her. So many people here today. Sorry, Stevie, you're gone. Sorry we offended you. Doesn't matter. It's too bad. It's just too bad. Anyway, Jack, Don, so many. I can't remember all the names. The chat's way, way long. So thanks for being here today. Thanks for letting me go off the rails again. Florida State, I'll end with this. You're right. Listen to me. Please listen to this. I'll end with this. I read a book it's called Path Between the Seas. It's a great book. It's called Path Between the Seas. It's a book about rebuilding the Panama Canal. When they built the Panama Canal 100 years ago, a little over about 110 years ago, people were dropping like flies down there. They were dying of yellow fever. Yellow fever. It had a mortality rate of 50%. That would get that would put my head on a swivel. That means 1 in 2 chance of dying if you get it. Like, wow. Your chances of dying from this were 1%. And depending on your age group, maybe not even that, maybe less. Why would you subject yourself to an experimental biological agent that had never been tested? You do realize there were no tests on humans. You were the freaking test group. Why would you subject yourself to that when the mortality rate is so low? That shows you how strong the psychology was that was used on you and your sister and your sister-in-law. Do you understand that? Because in the old days, they would have said, go home, take 2 aspirin, and go to bed. It's just you got the freaking flu. Big deal. So you get sick with the flu for a week or 2. All right. So what does the flu do? It kills weak people. All right. This thing, the mortality rate is super low. Why would you become a lab rat? What's wrong with you? Come on. All right. Exactly. Nothing about this is hard. Exactly right. Nothing about this is hard, Florida State grad, but it's just going to take a lot of moral fiber inside of you to admit that you have been played. I mean, that's what's going to happen. You might not have the strength to say that, but if you really start to think about it, you're going to put all the pieces together and go, this is bullshit. I was played. What a shame. All right, got to go. Thanks very much for being here. Record live stream, crazy. Thank you so much. Got to go. Got stuff to do. Bye.